So, not only am I lucky enough to be here with Denee Lalouette,
Yeah.
but we just recorded about 40 minutes of footage and this bloody thing ran out of batteries, and so we're here again. So not only have I got his time, but I've got his time times two. Okay, welcome.
Cheers.
To Journey of a Mover.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about UFT and playtime.
Yeah. Well, UFT, I guess, started as an MMA facility.
Okay.
Well, we started before that where I studied EMT, effective movement training, myofascial lines and things like that, and incorporated that into training.
Yep.
And then I got into martial arts, started as we actually were called UFT Ultimate Fighter Training.
Awesome.
The UFC didn't like that.
You got.
Yeah, well, tried to trademark it.
Okay.
And they opposed it, so didn't want to get into a lawsuit against a multi-billion-dollar company.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And then, yeah, things just happened from there, and I guess I got into my ultimate conditioning and strength and conditioning turned into CrossFit as well as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo and Muay Thai.
Wow.
All that sort of stuff came about, and then sprung playtime, and I guess this sort of philosophy that I'd started to develop, that I was getting bored with things. So doing jiu-jitsu, I loved it, I learned so much from it, but then I'd get over it a little bit, so I'd start lifting again, and then I'd get into lifting, and lifting gets boring pretty quickly sometimes. And then you start boxing, and then I started to, I guess, observe more.
And so what does playtime involve?
There's so many different aspects of it, but the most fundamental part of it is literally move like you did when you were a kid. Get out and move because you can, because it's fun, and because that's what we're supposed to do. I've been in the fitness industry now for around 10 years, and I hate it. I love it. It's my passion. It's what I do, and I know that there are people out there that have a genuine want to make people's lives better. Of course. But it's just so confined and restricted, limited. 30 minutes a day of vigorous intensity exercise to maintain health. The government guidelines. Correct. Recommended movement. Where playtime came from was the fact that if we compare kids to adults, the average adult to the average kid, they climb, they play, they run, and they jump, they tackle, they do all sorts of crazy stuff, and they're so imaginative, and they're so creative. There's a beautiful link between not being inhibited by fear, also creativity, also curiosity, things that we have lost along the way. Amazing, that's cool. And that's exactly what they do. So playtime, the first step is to teach people that they don't have to exercise vigorously to be healthy. Yeah, exercising vigorously is fantastic. Yeah. It gets you fitter. Yes. It gets you stronger. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily need to make you fit. If I just played with my dog all day. Yeah. Your health would be... And I'd be crawling, and I'd be jumping, and I'd be flipping, running, rolling, and running, and doing all sorts of stuff. Bending over, picking up puppies. Yeah, exactly. And it wouldn't feel like hard work. Yeah. I wouldn't have to schedule a time out of my day to go to the gym. Yep. So, and I guess it actually works against my business, because my business is a gym. I get it. I call a playground. So again, terminology, we don't want this to be known as a gym. And you were talking before about the words and the terminology of training. You explain that a bit? Yeah, so training, I guess we call it playtime. And we call it playtime because it's word association, and as soon as you associate a word with something, an emotion or an action, it becomes habitual. So when we're kids at primary school, at kindergarten, we get playtime. You work, you do your work, and then your teacher says, all right, kids, it's playtime. Playtime. Go play. I love playtime. Yeah, and then when we get old, when we become adults, we go to high school even that tiny transition from primary school to high school. You get recess. You get Well, you get recess and lunchtime.
Yep.
Now it's about food.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you go to work, you get a lunch break or smoko.
Yeah.
Imagine
terminology.
Imagine if you worked in an office, or worked at a bank, or worked on a building site, and it was playtime at 12 o'clock.
I just vision all the different
these cool
people
tradies just running around, playing footy,
running, keeping's off,
wrestling, keeping's off, crawling, and
lawyers.
Yeah, lawyers doing it.
Playtime.
I wrote a blog recently about why I play.
Okay.
And it was sort of what I envisaged the world to be like if it was a playful society.
Wow.
So I compared it to what we have now. If you walked through the streets of an average busy suburb, you would get people in suits walking down the street, most of them in a rush. You would get people lining up at the bank. You would have people sitting in chairs in cafes.
Yes.
Yeah. And now imagine, and then my world came into it, which was, imagine if the people that were lining up at the bank were squatting.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to, I'm not talking a rigid squat. I'm talking...
feet shoulder width apart.
Exactly, I'm talking...
Keep your chest up.
Yeah, squat.
Just down in a resting squat, like in most Asian countries.
Exactly. And then you went to a cafe, and the cafe was just beanbags. They didn't have seats.
Yep.
Beanbags, or people sitting cross-legged or whatever. And then you went for a job interview, and it was in a tree. That is the kind of job interview I would
please
like
go to Denee's website. What's the exact address?
UFTplaygrounds.com.au.
UFTplaygrounds.com.au. Check out his blogs. Check out a bit about this wonderful facility.